Manchester United have just put in their best performance to date under Ruben Amorim in a 2-2 draw with Premier League leaders Liverpool, and in this video we're going to be breaking down what United did so well against their bitter rivals and a look at the tactics involved that allowed them to expose Liverpool on a number of occasions. This is the first time that Ruben Amorim has had a full week of training in preparation for a game, and in this match against Liverpool it really did show. From the start of the match, Manchester United looked far more composed with the ball at their feet, and this was down to the way that they were able to progress the ball through these three centre-backs, and it caused Liverpool a whole heap of questions. It asked a far different set of questions than the ones that were posed to them in their previous game when they met earlier on in the season, and this is because of Liverpool's defensive shape off of the ball. Liverpool set up in a 4-2-4, meaning that they have their four attackers press forwards to try and turn over the ball. But what they needed to do as well was prevent the progression through Ugarte and Mainoo, forcing them to really hold on to the ball in these channels and in these areas with the centre-backs. But to press Manchester United and turn over them, they needed to either leave their man and then press forwards, or make sure that they were able to drift off into a mid-block. They tried to press them on a couple of occasions, but in doing so, it left a couple of midfielders for Manchester United free, and it allowed them just to poke the ball round and go into midfield. This forced the likes of Gravenberch and McAllister to then leave their positions, and it was always giving Manchester United a pretty easy out, and this is because of the way they outnumbered Liverpool when Liverpool were trying to press. There was always an extra man, whether it be a centre-back, whether it be a midfielder, or even a wide player to then progress the ball through down the channels on either side. Another tactic that United used was to go long. They've gone long more often than they ever have done under Ruben Amorim, with a whole heap of long passes over to Rasmus Højlund, who will be looking to spin round to try and take the space when Liverpool want to condense the pitch. The line that Liverpool want to take is to try and make sure that they can stop the build-up and progression through the lines for Manchester United, but in doing so it leaves a lot of space in behind, and this was space that Rasmus Højlund wanted to try and exploit. Take this for example. This is Manchester United in build-up. Lisandro Martinez has the ball right here, and as you can see, he's not necessarily being pressurised all too much. This allows him to get his head up and then begin to play a pass. He's going to play it over the top, a really long raking pass over the top, looking for Rasmus Højlund, who is spinning in beyond. Look at how high this Liverpool line is, not necessarily in sync with each other, but the spinning run from Rasmus Højlund gives him the opportunity to get on the end of that pass. It's really well done, and then look at the amount of space there is. Virgil van Dijk can't come and cover, so he's sprinting back towards his own box. It's taking advantage of the positioning of Trent Alexander-Arnold, and Konate can't get there either. It gives United a really good opportunity that Rasmus Højlund, unfortunately for them, cannot take, but it was a really good effort to be able to spin in beyond towards that channel and get Liverpool working towards their own goal. There was a clear and main avenue for Manchester United's attacks in this game, and it focused on this left-hand side for them, Liverpool's right, really trying to focus and expose Trent Alexander-Arnold on a number of occasions, and time after time again they managed to do so. But what did they do so well? Well, you have this trio right here, Bruno Fernandes, Diogo Dalot and Kobbie Mainoo. These three did a really good job of rotating but also pressurising this left-hand side. Mainoo would often move forwards and take up this space near Fernandes, who would drop a little bit more. This caused Liverpool a couple of problems, because it meant that Ryan Gravenberch couldn't come and contest when Diogo Dalot went forwards with the ball to try and take this space right here, and it meant that Trent Alexander-Arnold was continuously isolated in 1v1 duels against Dalot, who was more than willing to be able to run past and try and take this space. This space is absolutely crucial because it then gave United opportunities to cross the ball in. Arne Slot said that Ryan Gravenberch didn't do a good enough job or wasn't able to help out with Trent on a number of occasions, and it left Trent quite exposed. And this is because of the positioning of Bruno Fernandes. Because Fernandes isn't making a run beyond Trent and he's staying in the centre of the park, Gravenberch has to respect that. And he has to respect that because if Gravenberch leaves to help double up with Trent, it gives Bruno the time and space to move into this area. And all of a sudden you're giving a player of Bruno Fernandes' quality a load of space to be able to work in. And this is again because of Kobbie Mainoo coming across to create that overload. It means that Konate cannot be aggressive enough. It means that they are not able to take that space. And in doing so, it leaves Trent really isolated, and it really exposes him on a number of occasions. And it was through this avenue that Manchester United started to get a load of opportunities. And it was actually this that led to Manchester United's opening goal. So let's take a look at this right here. We have Trent Alexander-Arnold with the ball. He could clear it, he could go forwards, but let's just take a moment to analyse this moment in this situation. He can't go back towards Alisson because of the positioning of Diogo Dalot right here. He can't play centrally or into the middle of the park because of Kobbie Mainoo. Now remember what I said about Kobbie Mainoo, and Ryan Gravenberch has to make sure that he can stop that, or at least give him an option, which means that passing into the centre is not an option either, so Trent has to go long. But Bruno Fernandes is also attempted to close down that angle right here. This forces Trent's hand and almost rushes him into playing a pass that he wouldn't necessarily normally do. And in doing that, you're then giving Manchester United an opportunity. Another major part of the way that United played was the aggression that was shown by the centre-backs to try and intercept and also give Liverpool a limited amount of time to be able to turn and force United back towards their own goal. It was this aggression from Lisandro Martinez in this case that allowed him to get in front of Mo Salah, therefore continuing the pressure and the progression of Manchester United's attacking play. In doing that, it then allows for this overload once more. If you look at where they are, look at this positioning right here. You've got 1, you've got 2, nearly 3 and 4 players all gravitating towards that left-hand side, again looking to expose Trent Alexander-Arnold. As this move plays on, you've now got 1, 2 players, but you've also got 3 United players in a very close vicinity, and it means that Liverpool can't get that aggressive. Look at the positioning of Ryan Gravenberch right here. He's not in that play because it's been taken out of it because of the aggression that United showed. It goes over to Bruno Fernandes, and then you've got a run here, you've got an option here, and Liverpool have to respect this. And in doing that, and in making sure that they're respecting that, it gives a whole heap of space for Bruno Fernandes to walk into. Now, take nothing away from Bruno, because this is absolutely sensational. Possibly a Liverpool player should get a foot on it, but it's all about the vision here from Bruno. It's about his ability to see a pass and then understand where everything's going. You've got Lisandro Martinez in this position here. The line isn't quite set. They don't see it. They don't push up far. And that's because of the positioning of Rasmus Højlund. Again, really good work from Bruno, who plays a fantastic pass just over into Martinez, and he's trying to take this space. Look at how high the Liverpool line is, look at the amount of space that Lisandro Martinez could have, and it's all about utilising that moment. Look at this, you've got Bruno Fernandes being able to play that pass, and then this is a clear example of where that Liverpool line is, where Trent Alexander-Arnold is, because he's been taken up, he's pushed up a little bit, and again, it's the United players that are really taking advantage of all of this. Look at that. There's an overload on this side, and Liverpool just couldn't deal with that in the current moment. The ball gets played over to Lisandro Martinez, who fires it against the crossbar into the net. But again, it was the real overloading of that left-hand side that exposed Trent that gave United that opportunity. This happened and it was exploited for a couple of reasons. The first one is the positioning of Diogo Dalot. Now, originally, with a back 5, you would assume that Diogo Dalot would be here to give an option to Martinez, but also to make sure that they're defensively sound against a really, really good Liverpool side. But instead, he was a few yards further forwards, and this meant that one of two things needed to happen. It meant that Mo Salah needed either to drop back to try and make sure that Dalot was marked, or Trent needed to be aggressive and not give Dalot time. The problem with that is that players like Alejandro Garnacho was then able to make a run towards this area, once again exposing Liverpool and the space in behind Trent. You've got Konate, who could make that recovery run, but again, that has a knock-on effect. And because of the positioning of Bruno Fernandes in the centre of the park, it just gives United a little bit more space, a little bit more time. And it was the width that was created by Diogo Dalot here that gave United a whole heap of opportunities. This combined with Salah not tracking back to try and exploit United space here as well, and it meant that Trent had a really tough time. In doing that, it was the space that was was then taken by the likes of Mainu, Garnacho and Bruno Fernandes that gave United another couple of opportunities which led to them getting back in the game. And everything that I mentioned previously came together for United's second goal. And we start here with Andre Onana passing it over to Lisandro Martinez. Look at the amount of space that Martinez has. The press from Liverpool has been taken away, and it means that Martinez can now go forwards. He plays that ball long again to Rasmus Højlund, just over the top, who was making a spinning run to try and take that again. It gets taken by Konate and then recycled. But again, remember what I said about the aggression in the centre of the park, about taking that momentum. We also need to make sure that we see Trent Alexander-Arnold here. Because of Konate coming across to try and deal with Rasmus Højlund, Trent feels like he needs to take this space in the centre-back position next to Virgil van Dijk, and this is where the chaos starts to come in. Because United recovered the ball with Bruno Fernandes here, it meant that Liverpool weren't necessarily set. Again, look at the position of Trent, look at the position of Konate, and remember that space on that left channel that we mentioned earlier. As the ball gets stopped, it's then about the space it's taken. Look at where Konate is, and then look how central he is. Look at where Trent Alexander-Arnold is. They're too close together, and Trent should really be here with Garnacho. He's not. And that means that Garnacho has a load of space to be able to take. Bruno Fernandes sees this pass. Bruno had a fantastic game, I might add. He sees this pass and then plays it through into Garnacho. And this is where the problems really start to come for Liverpool. Because of the space that Garnacho can now take, Konate has to come and contest. But because Konate has to come and contest, it means that Liverpool aren't set properly. Look at the position of Andy Robertson on the wide area, and then you've got Ahmad making that run centrally. Ahmad is key here. Because Garnacho is now running with the ball and forcing Liverpool to go towards their own box again, it makes it really, really difficult. Garnacho was able to have that 1v1 with Konate, run him down the byline and cross the ball into the box. But again, because Liverpool aren't perfectly set, it means that Ahmad is able to get towards the centre of the box after a cross comes in and get it on target. It's really well done by United, and you can see the patterns of play beginning to evolve. The idea, the philosophy, the aggression and the performance really was very, very good, and they thoroughly deserved their draw. Again, like I said, the best performance that they've done under Ruben Amorim so far, and there are so many encouraging signs for Manchester United fans. But of course, guys, I want to know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, hope you learnt something new, and hope to see you in the next one. But until then, my friends, take care.